Hi, I'm not Georgia Dow,
Hi, I'm not Rene Ritchie,
and I am a tech analyst.
and I am a psychotherapist, and I'm somewhat a tech analyst.
Yes.
No, a
Yeah.
little.
Well, welcome to Apple Talk, where she puts the psychology into the technology.
And you put the technology into
Nothing
the technology.
really. The technology coffee cup, and then I drink it.
There we go.
Yes. And what do we do on the show, Georgia?
So we actually deal with the intersection of technology and psychology, dealing with Microsoft and Facebook and Apple and all of those other happy companies.
And how they affect our daily lives and increasingly our culture. And today we are talking about the Apple App Store judgment and Facebook's new glasses, and a third bonus segment for Nebula, which Georgia won't tell me what it is, but she was laughing almost like Mark Hamill does in as Skeletor.
Right. Well, I think that we're going to start that segment now, and then we can review how that went after.
Oh.
So, do you want
Be
me to
afraid.
start?
Be very afraid. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I traveled.
Yes.
And I found this when I was looking for munchies. I found this.
So
This is
what is it?
ghost pepper chips.
Ghost pepper corn chips, potato chips? Corn chips.
And I thought we could have them during the show.
So I'm going to tell a little story. There's a restaurant that we like, an Italian restaurant that we like, and the owner is very proud of having his own hot sauces and his own hot peppers.
Yeah, I'm not going to bite
And
this.
so he has like an assortment. He has like the dried ones, but he also had a ghost pepper sauce. And your youngest son, tried a little bit and he goes, "Oh, this isn't hot at all."
Warning, it's freaking hot.
So then they went and made it hotter to the point where I can no longer eat it.
Yeah. Warning, it's freaking hot. It says, bringing the heat, and it hurts so good. Do you dare? So, Rene, do you dare?
We get yelled at when we eat on the show, though.
I figured that we would just down one every time you say apple. That's what I thought. Like, not a full one, like just a
What
decent
fresh
one.
hell is this?
I know. It doesn't seem too bad, really, actually. It doesn't seem too bad. I thought we could crunch them into little pieces.
Why were you traveling?
I went down to Arizona to do a talk to the councilman there, and I was talking about social media and the psychology of how they have social media to manipulate us to their own benefit. There, like I thought we could just like crack it and have like little tiny pieces.
Okay.
What do you think about that? You
Well,
can just
I
smash
think they're
them
already
down.
cracked.
Okay, so
Let's try this. That's not pleasant.
oh, that's unpleasantly hot. You forgot your water?
Oh, wait. We're not supposed to talk about our reaction until the bonus segment. All right, so.
Oh no.
Oh!
It's horrible. There, I'm crunching it so that I don't. Oh my God! Don't touch my eyes. Oh yeah, good coffee with that will be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so what do you want to talk about first?
And remember, every time you say apple,
What about you?
if I say apple or you say apple, we each have to take. Or does only the person that says apple have to take a chip?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So what do you want to talk about first?
Let's do Facebook.
All right, so Facebook has put out a new set of Ray-Bans. What are the exact name of them? Do you recall?
Yeah,
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Ray-Bans Stories. And I thought, immediately my first thought is, why would Facebook make a product with the word ban stories in the name, given all the antitrust
I
that's...
just feel bad for Ray.
Yeah, Ray-Ban, because everyone's accusing them of censorship, and which a private company can't really do, but of excessive editorial control, and
Right.
they're going to say ban stories as their product. I thought that was ill-considered.
A little bit.
Yes.
A little bit for Facebook, but it's Facebook.
Yes.
So, what do you think about these glasses, Rene? So they go on your face. They look
Like
like
Ray-Bans.
regular
Yeah.
glasses.
They look
Like
like
they
Ray-Bans.
are. Like Ray-Ban came up to Facebook and said, "Listen, we want to make creepy glasses." So,
But
let's
they don't
this.
do much. So one thing is they look a lot like glasses, but they don't even do like what Google Glass used to do. They don't have no augmented reality. All they really do is play music for you, take photos, and record video.
and
if they,
answer phone calls.
Yeah, answer phone calls. So they basically do like audio and some video. They don't do any augmented reality. And there is a little light that comes on if they are recording video or taking a photograph. I'm guessing like it blinks for a photograph, but it stays on for a video.
Yes.
And reaction was mixed.
Who's happy about this? Talking about the reaction was mixed. There were people that were happy and excited.
Yeah, so some people who were happy because they said like they're often carrying things or they're busy with their kids. They don't want to have to take their phone out and lose the moment to be able to take a photo, or they're working and they're busy with their hands and they don't want to. And I forget how these are actually triggered.
You can say there's 2 ways.
Oh, that's right. Yes, because
You can say, I think it's like, hey, Facebook.
Hey, Zuck.
Yeah. And they will turn on. And
Yes.
so it's always listening. But it says it's only actually triggered to really listen.
Yes.
Because it has to always listen to hear that word. But it's only really listening if it hears that. Or you can, I believe it's press a button.
What they usually do is they have a command word, and that's hardwired into it. But there's no internet connection. Like, it's able to understand its own command word. And then once the command word is understood, or it thinks that because we've often seen this go wrong, like horribly
Yes.
wrong, usually something that sounds similar. But then it opens an internet connection to parse more of the data. Because I don't think these are powerful enough to actually parse data on board. And a lot of the stuff is round-tripped.
Right. To your phone.
So it's the people who think it's convenient, like people who see it as a convenience are happy. The people who see it as just a massive data harvesting mechanism by Facebook are not happy.
Really? They would do that?
Yeah. In a
Interesting.
hot second.
Yeah. So do you think that they're $300?
Yes. They're not cheap.
They're not cheap. They're not horribly expensive.
No.
But they're not cheap. 5-megapixel camera, 30-second video clips, 500 photos. On-device memory then fills up.
Yeah.
You can then transfer it to your phone. It has a little volume control.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Would you use them?
No.
Hell no.
It's just because of the product, because it's Facebook. So that already kind of precludes me from ever trying this product out. Like, I would test it out, but I wouldn't try it out. And then the creep factor. One is I don't wear glasses.
Yes.
So I would only be wearing them.
But you do wear sunglasses.
I do wear sunglasses. Yeah, that's true.
She wears her sunglasses at night. Don't mess around with the woman in shades. Oh no. Can't believe it.
Would you?
So I thought it was interesting from a product design point of view because the rumored Apple glasses will do augmented reality. Like, they'll do an overlay on top of the glasses to give you more information.
More of a Terminator view.
But
of the world.
yes, like your clothing, give me your clothes, give me your motorcycle. But they also apparently don't have a camera. They have a LiDAR scanner, which lets them see in 3D space, but doesn't let them visually record anything. And that was a concession to privacy. So that might.
Then you can't video record.
No, you can't video record or take a photo. But you can like it can understand the 3D space around it, so it can layer the things properly for you.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah. Or it could probably give you a matrix view, like it could render code over where things are in 3D space.
Right, just for the new movie.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I have. It's so hard now with all this stuff because I want the technology, but I don't want it to become just the next layer in a data harvesting apparatus.
Right. So, which of the glasses would you get?
Well, the Apple ones are still mythical.
You said Apple. Yeah.
Ah.
Oh, you only have to eat one.
Ah. That's not. That's a lot. Okay. I'm crying by the end of this episode. Yeah. So those are mythical. These seem to be similar to the Snapchat Snapticals. I know they're called Spectacles, but I like Snapticals better.
Yeah.
And Google hasn't really done anything since Google Glass, but I think Google Glass was probably a little bit better than this because it had more functionality.
It was actually quite good.
Yeah.
For first gen, it was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't think that I would get Facebook's, and I don't think I would get the other one either. I don't think so. Enjoying that? I don't know. I'll have to see. I like the idea of having a virtual world and getting all kinds of information that's there, but it would all depend on the privacy.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we last spoke, we haven't talked about this yet because you were traveling, you missed last week's episode. Apple delayed their CSAM feature and their messages feature. What do you think?
Delayed is not enough for me. If they had come out and said that they're going to fix it, they're going to do something about it, they're
going to
not going to do
reassess
this.
it, they said.
I really think that they're just waiting out until we become bored with this and forget and move on to the next subject. It wasn't like people were still talking about it. And so I think that that's why they decided to keep, to wait. And then we have very short attention spans. There's going to be another scandal.
Some people were really angry.
Okay.
Like I think it was the Home Secretary in England was really angry about it. There were a couple of governments that were angry. And you could say that's either because they really care about CSAM or because they think they're going to lose their backdoor now.
Right.
And also some people who are, the majority of privacy advocates were happy about it. Some of them...
Happy that they delayed.
Yes, or that they were going to reconsider it. Some were saying that this is a secure implementation and now we're going to get the same kind as Google's, which is not a win for privacy. But like I said, this is more about feels than facts.
Right. So do you think that they're going to fix it, or are they going to wait it out until we've moved on to another subject and then quietly just unload it?
I think it was a big problem for them. It still stupefies me that it was handled the way it was, because I think it became an existential threat to iPhone sales at this point, because they're going to roll out a new iPhone.
Yes.
And people are going to be like, I would have got it, but now,
Yes.
And so this was the very least they had to do.
Right.
I do hope, because I made some suggestions on how I thought they could improve it, basically get it off the device.
Right.
And not ever have a tattletale on anybody.
100%.
Keep everything. And I hope they take, and I realize from their point of view, it's not as beautiful an engineering solution, but I think it's a solution that is just I made this argument that it's not about take away the privacy argument. It's about sanctity. It's my device. Stay off of it.
Fair.
And I hope they solve for that at least.
So, if you get the new phone,
Yes.
will it automatically be upgraded to 15, and it will be there, and Apple can secretly turn it on without our knowledge? Do we have any awareness of that, or...
We won't know until people get it and dive into the code.
Okay.
But we'll have to wait
Because
for
that will preclude me from getting a new phone.
Yeah.
It's not even a maybe. I just find it really intrusive.
Okay. So Facebook glasses, no, and new phone pending. Guy Rambo diving into the code, or someone similar diving into the code.
Yes.
All right. So what's our next story, Georgia?
Yeah, horrible. And I really can't do it without saying this.
Well, I've already had 2 more chips than you, so my sympathy for you is at an all-time low.
Oh, fine. Okay. So here we go. This is... Just grab it right now. Okay. So we have Apple versus Epic, the trial.
Yes.
The verdict has come down. 185 pages of goodness. Epic came out the loser.
Yes.
Woo! Baby.
So there was this marvelous tweet from Stephen, who works at iMore, that I want to share with you because
Sorry, I'm okay.
You're okay? So I just want to quote this because Stephen Warwick, who's a news writer for iMore, had a really, really funny tweet about it that just summed it up perfectly for me. So he's like, to sum up, Epic Games has won after being defeated in court, and Apple will be forced to make massive, sweeping, yet very minor changes that will change absolutely everything and yet nothing for developers, and will cost the company its huge App Store cash cow that is actually tiny. Epic Games plans to appeal against its victory, and Apple has welcomed the court's ruling against it.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I thought that was brilliant.
You have 2 chips to have.
Oh, you fiend. Doing them at once. I thought you were even paying attention for some other reason.
Like, she's so attentive.
He doesn't care about your tweet, Stephen. I'm so sorry. I tried.
I thought it was a great tweet.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
What do you
Wish
think of the
there
decision?
was more words that started with an A in that.
There, I can think of one right now.
I think that it was a good verdict. I think that it was well thought out. The issue I usually have with verdicts and judges that are dealing in technology is that they rarely have an understanding or a care to really get to the depth and give a verdict that is fair,
knowledgeable.
Justified, knowledgeable, researched.
Yes.
And you could tell that she did not want to have this verdict able to be overturned by the amount of details that she went into, and how thoughtfully she parsed even the language that was used and the terms and what
she used their language against them.
It was pretty wonderful. And when I was reading the article, they were saying I did not read all 185 pages. I am the person that usually does that, but in this case,
Yes.
I did not. But they say that up until page 135, it was all pro
Who?
Apple.
Oh.
Damn it.
You're still
I have
way
a
behind
choice.
me.
That's okay. And then after that, Epic got some wins, or everyone got some wins.
I really want to praise Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers because she has been so smart throughout this trial. She's called the lawyers on their BS throughout the trial. Didn't matter what they were saying. She's just like, and at one point, Epic's lawyers were like, she's like, are you going to do it? She's like, I don't even know what to say anymore. She's just like, made it sound like they had really bad lawyers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, when you look
and
back.
I'm sure they don't.
No, I think they do. I think Epic were really, they were bad at this. Like, I think Epic was bad at this. I think it was almost lucky that they were so bad at this. Like, again, they sued Google when they probably shouldn't have. They should probably have focused their lawsuit. They also made a big deal about supporting developers, but then Tim Epic, whenever he's on stand, he says the quiet part out loud. He's like, no, I prefer my iPhone. It is more private and secure, and the things I'm asking for are going to make it worse. And who are you testifying for? But then he's so mouthy on Twitter, and everything he said on Twitter could be used against him.
Yes.
Where Tim Cook says nothing on Twitter.
No, he's smart that way.
Yeah, he's like dark side.
Yes.
He just sits there with like a smoldering eyes.
He totally knows.
So I thought that was really good. The part that was interesting was, like you said, the first 3/4 of the ruling. No monopoly.
Yes.
They're not, and this, just to be clear, this was on both United States federal law and California law. So how that plays out across every state remains to be seen, and how it plays out against every country remains to be seen. Apple, recently lost a court case in Japan, and Apple made concessions, globally for that one, for what they called reader apps. So they made changes. They haven't said anything about making changes globally based on this decision. So we have to see how that plays out. But the part that was interesting is that she said they are violating anti-steering by forcing people to use their in-app purchases. Now, there was some confusion because the initial coverage focused only on that. But when you read the whole thing, she didn't say they weren't entitled to a profit. They weren't entitled to a commission based on their technologies, their infrastructure, everything they built. And she didn't clearly say that other companies were allowed in-app purchases on the phone. That's unclear. It could just be a web link. Like, there's a whole confusion about buttons or links. But they do have the right to ask for payments outside the App Store. Unclear if they still have to pay Apple. Even if they do the commissions outside the App Store.
Right.
3 times the... not the charm.
So this is not going to change the commissions. This will give, and Apple is not considered a monopoly. Oh, damn it. I was so good too.
Who's not considered a monopoly?
Sorry, eating. I shouldn't breathe while I eat.
I know, it's the worst. Did you eat these while you were there as well, or you just brought one to bring back?
Just brought them. I've not yet tried this. Okay. So we still get the 30%. What's going to change for us, the baseline consumer, because of this?
I'm not sure about the 30% because I think she said that they failed to justify the 30%. They're entitled to something, but it may not be 30%. The other thing that was interesting is they both had different definitions of the market they tried to have imposed.
Right.
Epic's was basically that they have 100% control of the iPhone. Like, it wasn't exactly that, but that was what they were trying to say, is that it's a monopoly because the iPhone is popular.
Right.
And she's like, no. And then the argument was we only have market share for all video games. And she's like, that's overly broad. So what she made the market share was for mobile video games. So it's also unclear if this should now apply to Nintendo Switch, because is that mobile?
Right.
The PlayStation Vita, it won't apply. Like the Epic also said that this shouldn't apply to consoles because it's different. She's like, there's no difference. You didn't establish any difference. The consoles, you're happy that the consoles do this, but not that Apple does it, and it's the same thing.
Right.
She called everyone on their BS constantly.
I know.
Craig Federighi, I ask you, what's so different about the Mac? You don't have a real answer. It's almost like you're going to make it up on the spot. It's like, is there going to be... she did think there would be more malware, but she didn't think that they had actually thought it through to the extent that they were saying on...
Right.
She called everybody out.
Yes. Everyone won and everyone lost.
Yes.
And and I didn't say it. And they have 90 days. 90 days to be able to implement this.
Yes, if they don't appeal. Epic has already appealed. Epic said this is not a win. They're so angry. She also said that they have to pay the 30% on the $12 million or whatever it is that they had refused to pay previously.
Right.
Which she had offered to have them hold in escrow. But they refused. Remember, they could have been back on the App Store. Also, she said that they don't have to be put back on the App Store.
Right. That Apple has a choice
Thank you.
Oh, you were so happy. You were so happy too. I saw that happiness. Oh, these ones are really spicy looking.
Yes. Yes, enjoy. They don't have to be allowed back on the App Store, and that maybe they'll have the engine removed.
Oh,
Bad?
really bad.
Okay. You chose this. I had literally no idea about this before the show started. I just knew that you were way too happy for my own good.
I didn't want you to back out.
I wouldn't have backed out. I just would have been more prepared.
No, there's never prepared. Don't want you prepared.
I forget what they said when you're supposed to beat hot ones. I forget what it was that you're supposed to use. Lemonade? I think it's
No,
lemonade.
something with oil, no? Like
No, I think it
milk
was
and-
lemonade.
No, that sounds like someone that's like trolling you.
No.
Wants you
The
to
lemons
suffer even more.
overwhelm the
Okay, next time.
it was Gordon Ramsay, but he was cursing so much I couldn't make out the words.
Yeah. Did you try it?
Yeah, no, I haven't tried it, but I didn't. Again, I was not prepared. I would have had like cucumbers and lemons and all sorts
Really?
of things.
Okay, next time I'll let
No,
you
you
know.
won't.
No, I won't.
So, end of the day, like this is not over. Epic has already appealed. We'll see what else happens with it. But I think they do have to make some, and Google is probably going to be bound by this as well because their rules for the
wouldn't
games are the
all
exact same
companies
things.
be bound
I
by
think
this
so.
after this? Doesn't this set precedent?
I think so. And they have a lawsuit against Epic has a lawsuit against Google as well. But I think given also the regulators, the politicians were not happy about this. They said we obviously need more laws because she gave the most narrow interpretation possible. We need more laws against big tech. They have such a raging something or other for big tech right now that they weren't happy either. Amy Klobuchar and I forget who the other people are. Really, really ghost pepper nacho chip hot and spicy about this.
Right.
So it remains to be seen, but I still think it would be good for the companies to get ahead of this so they don't get regulated bit by bit by people who don't understand how
But
it
they
all works.
probably have to be anyways.
Some people argue that it's really just noisy tech, because a lot of times people say this is better for the developers. The developers are split on this, as far as I can tell. Some really famous ones that we know. Some of them are like, you've got to allow side loading and you've got to allow alternate payments. And others are like, no, it's going to increase privacy and it's going to increase fraud. So they don't have a consensus opinion on this. And I don't think anybody, unless you have an agenda, I don't think you have it. It's a trade-off, and
Right.
you've got to make sense of what the best trade-off is. And I really only care about us at the end of the day, the consumers. And I want both. So I would, in some ways, for example, and everyone's using this example, but it's a good one. Right now, if you subscribe to the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times online, you have to call to unsubscribe,
Yes,
to cancel,
which is
and
ridiculous.
it's really hard.
Yeah.
But if you subscribe in the App Store, you just press one button and you're unsubscribed.
But if you live in California, the way that you subscribe is the same way that you have to unsubscribe. Don't you think that would just be a better law?
It's all in one place for you. Like you can just go to one screen, you'll see all your subscriptions. It's a convenient. Like some people will pay for the convenience, and I think they should have that ability.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you should have the ability to pay some other way as well. But it will increase. It does make things more complicated. And for developers, almost everyone's credit card is up to date on the App Store because they can't do anything without it. But that's not necessarily the case on ABC payment platform.
But this wouldn't force them to
No.
be able to have a
Yes.
different payment system, but they could if they choose to.
Yes.
And now, would they be... We're not sure about the 30% commission, though. If it's on your own site,
Yes.
is there still a 30%
To be
commission?
determined. It doesn't look like it restricts them from doing that. And previously in his testimony, Tim Cook said it would
Because
just
isn't
be...
that the only reason that they want
Yes,
this?
I think
'Cause,
I think they're incredibly I think a lot of the earlier interpretations, like DHH was like, "Woohoo, we've won, epic victory," and I'm like, "Oh, you talk so fast and think so slow, and I'm not going to apologize for that because of the way you treated your employees." It's just, Apple said it's just going to be more annoying for them to collect,
Right.
which means it'll be more annoying for.
And to find out how much different companies made,
Yeah.
you have to eat a chip.
Oh, tag nabbit.
I was hoping you were going to say it twice, so I didn't want to interrupt.
All right, George. Anything else?
I think that's good.
All right, so we do have a bonus segment coming up for you on Nebula. So if you're watching us on Nebula, just stay tuned. We're going to get right to it. If you're not, it's never been easier to sign up for Nebula. You can get it as part of the Curiosity Stream bundle, which
And
gives
I think for that bonus segment, we should each have a big piece so we can really, truly review it properly. That's my
hateful
thought.
creature.
I know.
You go to curiositystream.com/Apple Talk. You sign up. It's like $15 a year, which is roughly the cost of 2 or 3 of these packages of hell chips.
2 of them, yeah. 2 health chips.
2 hell chips, and then you get all the documentaries, all the series, Hold on.
Brings me such joy.
All the documentaries, all the series, and you get all of Nebula, which has all of George's videos, all of my videos, MKBHD, Legal Eagle, half as interesting, Wendover, Jordan Hare, just so many great videos. If you're not going to continue on in Nebula, Georgia, where can people find?
You can check me out on Twitter. It's at Georgia_Dow. You can send me an email, Georgia@Westmount Therapy. I'm on YouTube, YouTube/Georgia Dow. And you can check out Anxiety-videos. You, Rene?
You can find me at youtube.com/Rene Ritchie or at Rene Ritchie on several social networks, including the Twitters.
The Twitters.
The Twitter sphere.